Good morning, good night, or good evening, everyone. And today we are bringing you Duke of York. Now, Duke of York, you can get in the Armory for free. So let's go to the Armory so we can bring her up for you. Coal. Let's go to the bottom. Duke of York. There we go. Duke of York will cost you will cost you 101,000, coal. That's not much for coal, honestly. So, and you get a 25% coupon. So times 0.75. That would be 75,750 coal. That's not much. That's like 2 battle passes. Usually you make about 30 to 40k coal on a battle pass. Plus, if you complete it, then you get extra coal. That's like 2 battle passes. This ship is very free. You don't have to pay money to get this ship. I paid money to get this ship because I got it when it very first came around during Christmas. So I paid money, but you can get it for free. Now, economic-wise, without the contributor flag, 5% to credits, 55 to ship XP, 65 to commander XP, and then 100% with a clan. Armor-wise, she's slightly squishy. Let's be honest. She has 26mm bow, so anything with 16-inch guns goes right through this bow armor. And so and the armor belt is only 26. So you have to belt it in litter, and so you have to bounce a shell on this armor right here. Your belt armor at 381 to basically 356. And then you get 26mm on the back. Now the deck is also 26mm. That is all HE susceptible. And the replay I've chosen to you will show Duke of York's weaknesses, the HE susceptibility, and being overmatched. So you'll get to see all that happen in the replay. Now, hit point wise, she gets 60,500 with a 22% torpedo reduction, so fairly decent. Armor wise, she basically gets, well, what is that, 10? Yeah, 10 14-inch guns. So 2 quad turrets and 1 2 turret. Now, the dual mount turret has, all these guns will have the same specs. So basically 30-second reload with gun feeder, 17.7 switch time. Well, hopefully grease the gears. 47-second 180, so that's a long time. Max dispersion 225. That's fairly bad. And an 18.7 range, okay? HE damage, 6,100, 41% of fire, 89 armor pin, and 757 velocity. AP max damage, 10,500, 757 to velocity. Now, this is, a Duke of York is a King George V. These are HE spamming battleships to the core. But in operations, you can actually shoot AP. And don't be afraid to shoot AP in randoms in these ships. You will do damage. You just got to get the right angle and get them broadside. And you'll do damage. Airstrike wise, she gets 8-kilometer range, 2 attacking flights, and basically 1 bombing each payload. So basically you're doing about 6,800 max damage and depth charge damage to a sub. Not the best. AA wise, actually very impressive wise. Duke of York and King George have really great AA. 39 Orliken single mounts. 8 dual mount Orlikens. 6 quad mount Vickers. And then she gets basically, well, in a sense, a British Beaufort gun. And she gets basically 2 of these guys. And then she gets the classic British pom-pom guns. And she gets, well, 2 of these guys. Or, actually, it's 8 of these guys, sorry. Yeah, she gets 8 of these guys. So, she gets quite a lot of pom-pom. Now, continuous damage, 831. Short range makes up most of it. It's 737. Or 7, yeah, 375 makes up the majority of it. So, not the best. Medium-wise, though, short range 375, medium range 445, and long range is, well, 74. So, the short range and medium is going to be where most of your planes are. And if it's an inexperienced CV, it's going to go right into your AA. And you'll just shred it. She also gets these guns here. 8 133 millimeter guns. So she's actually fairly good when it comes to AA wise. Maneuverability 28 knots without brisk. 790 turning circle. 17.5 rudder shift. And then 12.7 to concealment. Equipment wise, I do auxiliary armaments because I want to keep that AA alive. Because you can shred planes in this thing if the carrier captain is not watching. Damage control mod 1, aiming systems, and then damage control mod 2. Now, with survivability, with superintendent, 5 charges to your heal, and 3 charges to hydroacoustic. This is one of the gimmicks of the ship. It has hydroacoustic search. So, detect ships at 4 kilometer range, 3 kilometer on torpedoes, and then 2 kilometers at subs. So, not the best. She gets... But, so these are... This is a really great consumable to have on this ship. Camouflage-wise, this is what she would look like without the alternative camo. And then you put this on it, that's what it would look like with the alternative. She gets a lot of extra ones. So this is what they call the tropical camo. This is the Mediterranean camo. This is the Victory Day camo. And then if you're lucky enough, you can get the Arctic camo, which basically gives her, like how she looked like in the North Sea against Scharnhorst. Lots of icicles and everything. It's beautifully done. The ship is pure white from all the ice. It's just a beautiful camo. Now, I have Mighty Jingos as my captain, since he's my battle cruiser captain. Gunfeeder, brisk, adrenaline rush, emergency repair expert, and concealment expert. So, fairly, tanky. Now, since you want to have survivability expert, this is what I would run for the base, 14 skills. After that, it really depends. I mean, personally, I would take Grease the Gears, Repairers, Specialist, Basic Survivability. That basically jumps you to 10, or 20 points. Wait. Yeah, we're at 16. Sorry, never mind. And then I would just take this skill. This would work, or if you wanted to, you could do priority target, and then mix and match. But really, you want this base amount of skills as your first amount. I never really listen to the recommended skills personally, just because every battleship captain has their own way of running a ship. This is how I like to run my Duke of York. So find out what works best for you. Now let's get into the replay, and we'll show you Duke of York's weaknesses and how all that armor and HE susceptibility works. Hello, and welcome to the Duke of York replay. Now, Duke of York. While it's not a perfect battle, or the best battle, it shows a lot of the Duke of York's weaknesses and strengths. And I think since this ship is available for coal, showing you the weaknesses, the strengths, and all that kind of mixed together is what's most important. As you know, in our specs video, we do know she has a very thin bow. You're going to see that come into play later. And she does take a lot of HE damage, so you're going to see that. You're going to see how this ship fails in those certain areas, and how to kind of overcome it.
This is Task Force Commander. Our transport ships have been captured. Attack the enemy and retrieve the transport ships. Roger. Searching for enemy convoy.
Like most op games, it's always the most boring in the beginning because, let's face it, you're getting into position.
Enemy detected.
Again, if they had spotted that carrier a little bit sooner, I could have, hit it, or that battleship sooner, but I don't know what our ranger was doing. As I was playing this, it was very unusual how he was playing, and confused me a lot. I mean, I get going the long way around, because that's where the battleships are, but, yeah, I don't know. The dispersion on that shot was beautiful. But, I mean, it's no Citadel, it's just solid pin, 16,000. She hits hard. She does hit hard. But as you can see, there's a lot of DDs out there. Kagero, Akatsuki. Well, there was a Kitakaze. But the amount of Daka this ship has that will be facing just from those destroyers. Just even one of them. Now, if it had 16-inch guns, that, would have more than likely overmatched that whole armor. But since it's lower, lesser caliber guns, like 14-inch guns, it does tend to bounce a little. That is the downside. And you see, I believe we had a fourth fire, if I remember right. Okay, I guess it was only 3 fires. But, I mean, there were 3 fires there. You did see how it just caught on fire. Because there is a lot of, superstructure on this ship. And she's long and, well, clunky.
Problem solved, sir. Torpedoes direct front. Torpedoes dead ahead.
But, I mean, she does have 5 heals, so... And we did sink that whole side without losing a team. And there was also some questionable play from our Flander. Like, it should have been a little bit... We should have had some stars later. But he kind of... Let's be honest, he messed up. Now, I never advise doing this. This is very gutsy and stupid. But, I wanted to just have some fun and do some stupid stuff. But also, the dispersion was favoring me. If you can make the dispersion and then angle in and then bounce and get those ships to shoot AP at you, you could make this work. But you got to make sure they all shoot AP at you like this. Then it works. If they don't, well, then it won't work at all. But you see, this was an interesting salvo. I basically hit like both of them for a decent amount of damage. Ranger picks up that kill. Yeah, I lost a lot of my health, but I still have 4 heals. And I'm up to 64,000, so it was kind of like a... It was kind of worth it. Now you can see the velocity is actually pretty decent. But the vertical dispersion does have its drawbacks. I mean, like, see, the Flander was going solely for these ships on in front of me. But, I mean, let's be honest. If you're a battleship, you're in the middle, shoot the ones that are actually shoot the ones that are on your left or the right. Because those are what's going to hurt you the most. If you got teammates helping you on these ships, there's no point to shoot these ones. And I was solely waiting just for those cruisers, but... As was our DD, but the Flander just kept knocking them out. I know our DD was waiting, but I think even he decided not to. But I also didn't want him to take that kill, because one, I kind of wanted the damage, but also, it was like it wouldn't have made any difference. The Flander's right there pushing in, Chum's right behind it, there's really no point. And it's like, well, yeah. Now the dispersion on those guns was just beautiful. 17,000, not bad. While the Flander may have a lot of secondaries, they don't have the best pin. Again, really beautiful dispersion. And just, boom, 29,000. Now, I want you to keep an eye on the Flander. Okay, so you think, okay, he's going up here to basically go after the battleships, right? Right, you would think so.
Cover the retreat of our transport ships.
But just keep an eye on him. Instead of keeping his guns, you know, pointed to the right so he could shoot the Amagi and put his secondaries, well, and he's shooting HE. These things will turn broadside to you. There is no reason to shoot AP. No reason. Or HE. Yeah, there was no reason to shoot HE. Why would you be shooting HE in that ship? Well, you're not getting citadels. You're getting pretty good chunks in this thing. In this ship. Again, my general rule, if you're not citadeling, but you're chunking, still worth it. Again, like, he could have all of his secondaries going off on the Amagi and going after the Amagi, but he's still shooting these battleships, and he's still shooting HE. And I'm doing more damage to them with just AP. Like, again. Like, and you see him kind of pulling back instead of going for the Amagi. Like, there was no reason for him to turn around, and then he says, okay, we'll go. And I was thinking, okay, you'd think he'd go, but it's like he chooses not to. And it doesn't make sense to me at all. Again, 17,000 solid pins. You see how that just goes right through my bow? That's where I lose the health trade. Because I, you know, could have bounced it on my belt armor and really got a, and, you know, been able to do it. If I hadn't been able to get my heal up, you know, I could have had it. Now I get a nice 20,000, but I'm not going to be able to get my next salvo because he outranges, he out DPMs me. And, you know, boom, I go dead. But again, you see the Flander. He's basically runned away. Why? There was no reason to run away. I know you're at half health, buddy, but still. You get broadside, you get within the secondary range, you'll just start peppering the Among secondaries, and you just shoot it side. It made no sense at all. And then our Tirpitz, you know, sat behind the rock. And, you know, he let Glenn die. And then, that's what I don't, if you're going to be a battleship and you're going to go this way, you've got to be above the convoys, tanking damage and putting fire into them. Now, the Akatsuki really should have just rushed the Among instead of trying to do a normal torp drop. I would have just rushed the ship. That's what I would have done. Like, we could have had that Amagi. It could have been a perfect 5 stars, but the battleships, I mean, the Flander did a lot of things wrong. The Akatsuki just, as you can see, he's dropping torps. He should have, if he had that much time, he should have just ran right at it. He just messed up. But you see, Duke of York is a really decent ship.